Very good. How you doing today? Sitting on this bench with me. Yeah. So how you been recently? You been doing good? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, I've met so many of you. You're kind. You're always silent. You talk the whole day. You talk about this. You talk about that. But when the time really comes down to it, it's just completely silent. Yeah. Yeah, I used to be like that. He's scared of what people think of me. But then I got old. Now people don't really think about me at all. Yeah, I guess that's one of the pros of being old. Is it you're kind of lonely, like your whole life. You wait. You know, all these people, they always complain about, oh, my life. I don't know where to go in my life. Wait till you get to my age and you realize you wasted all of it. But beyond that, I don't know what wasting it would even incur. I think it's hard to waste your life. People, they think, oh, I watched too much TV when I was younger. Oh, it's not wasting your life. Wasting your life is living in doubt. If you ever doubt anything you do, then that's really what I think wasting your life would be like. Certain days, it comes to all of us. There's certain things about the world that, they're certain that it will 100% happen. The next day will always come and all that. And the next day, it always comes. But, it can be hard to get through all of that. The thing that you have to remember really is that you have to be certain as much as you're certain that the next day will always come. Time as a whole, it's always interested me. When I was younger, I was trying to get into the clock making business because I really wanted to be a big clock maker, and it's just never really worked out for me. They're so interesting. I'm not trying to talk about the passage of time or whatever. It's like, oh no, it's forever coming. Yeah, it comes to all of us. Okay, time comes to all of us. Seconds pass, minutes pass, more seconds pass. My favorite part about time is that seconds is such a common word. It's just you think, oh, it took 12 seconds, but you think about it, seconds are the second divider of time. That's why it's called seconds, because there's two of them. It's just something I always thought was kind of interesting. Seconds. What I used to do when I was younger is that I would set some sort of timer, right, and I would just get to work. I would do other things, and every once in a while I would look down at that timer and I would just think, huh. It's one thing looking at a clock, but these digital timers with their seconds and milliseconds and everything like that, those especially, those really get me thinking because, what I said about, time being certain or whatever is that they move, but they move in such disregard. At the end of the day, it'll be sort of empty. Maybe not the end of the day. Maybe at the end of the day you'll think, oh, I wasted my whole day. But no, the next day, which is really the end of the day, you just never thought about it. All of it goes away, and I think that's the ultimate reward in life is that, eventually it just all goes away. Some people see that as like a bad thing. At the end of the day, all your feelings will go away. But like I said, death comes to all of us. But death is not something that should be feared. I mean, unless it's a horrible death, unless it's a disease or something like that. Because, like I said, I mean, what do you think being dead feels like? People think, oh, you go to heaven or you go to hell or limbo or whatever. But to me, I think death is how it feels to sit there and breathe in and out and in and out and in. To me, I think death is how it feels to sit there and breathe in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. Sometimes, I get lost in such thought or focus on one thing or the other that it really, when I come back to reality, it just feels like I haven't been doing that for that long. But then I think about it and it's just, it comes rushing back to me in the honest way where there's just no way that it comes back to me, because I start thinking that, wow, that didn't feel like anything at all. You know what I mean? And what I think, that's what I think that feels like, is the feeling of, that didn't feel like anything at all, Sometimes you think, but then all those thoughts go away. That's why dreams are so, interesting to me, is because they go away so quickly. They go away so fast, but they can be so meaningful. A couple of days ago, I had this dream about, it was about a lot of things, but I was basically in this older part of my childhood, this house I hadn't seen in years. And I was living with all these random people from throughout my whole history, and it was so comforting. At a certain part in the dream, I was in this mall, and just everybody that I've ever seen just comes rushing in. There's so many faces, some that I remember, some that I didn't, but it's just, I don't know how to feel about it. When I was in the dream, it was so meaningful. I think I was crying, but right as I woke up, it was all gone. These long pauses, they can, in thought or memory or whatever or what have you, they do a number on you. And it's funny because it's not as if I want to forget. It's not because I'd like to forget, but I just do. I just, excuse me, I just do forget, which is, I don't know how to feel about it. Which, I know it goes against what I was saying about certainty or whatever, but listen, everybody that ever tells you that kind of crap is just stupid. That's the thing, is everyone is stupid. And that's the thing. I mean, I'm definitely certain about how I feel about that. And that's great. I love that. That everyone is stupid. Not because, I'm just better than them or whatever, I get to feel better. But more so because I understand that, I don't know. I don't actually know what I understand. Maybe that was a bad way to go down, but have you ever thought about space? Like, the space, it's just in general, it's really cool. It's another one of my passions, with time and clockmaking and such, but, it's so vast. And my favorite thing about it is you see all of it every day, but you just can't see it any other stars, and especially in this modern townscape, you don't really see any stars because there's just so much light out and everything like that, and there's too much light pollution or whatever, but so you can't see any of the stars. And I don't know, it's like the sun is it's really big and it's really bright and everything like that, but man, if I could just teleport to Mercury or Venus or Mars or wherever, the moon, just for 10 seconds and come back. I mean, just, it's so cool. You know what I mean? Not to say that the Earth isn't cool, but I think it's that unknown factor. You know, I was thinking about it a couple days ago. I was like, oh, how would I rank the planets in terms of interestingness? Obviously, Earth would be on top, but from there, it's kind of a free for all. You know, Mercury, it's the closest. Mercury, it's the closest. It's so dry, it's so dead. But somehow Venus is hotter because it's literally hell. And Mars is red and stuff. Jupiter is really big, and Saturn has a ring around it. Neptune is like really cool looking. It's really cool. And Uranus has really funny name. And Pluto's the smallest, and now it's not even a planet or whatever. But I don't know. I think they're all so interesting in their own way, and everything really is. Some of my favorite foods. I think about that. I'm not really that old. I kind of lied to you. I'm just like 50 something or other. 50 something or other. I might as well get going. I might be a little late. This is my own ventures. It's nice talking to you. Goodbye.